Amideast's mission is to strengthen mutual understanding and cooperation.
Our mission is to promote understanding
between people in the Middle East and North Africa and people in North America.
I kind of think of our organization as a big bridge. It's a bridge on which people are passing in both directions.
They can hear and understand other perspectives.
This is our work, trying to make a difference in the people's lives in the region, one person at a time.
If you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, but if you teach him to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Education is the keystone of development. It's the keystone of transforming lives. Basically, Amideast is there to try to facilitate understanding through all sorts of activities that go well beyond education and training. I'm not aware of any other non-governmental organization that has the breadth or depth of presence and experience that Amideast does.
I really believe that the exchange programs are right at the core of our mission.
Even a short stay abroad can lead to profound insight, bonds of friendship, and it can go a long way towards dispelling the stereotypes all around.
There's a lot of misconceptions out there on, prejudices and anger sometimes.
I change a lot of students' opinions, a lot of students' thoughts, because they used to ask me, do you go to school by a camel? Do you ride a camel to school? Do you live in tents?
No textbook, no interview, no newspaper, no magazine can take the place of actual time spent with people.
Amideast provides a valuable service to the Arab world and actually to the whole world, because it connects, becomes a big circle that joins all the people around the world together.
This experience has given me an appreciation for the way that Islam is integrated into the culture here and the great love that the people have for their faith. And I hope that I can share that with my students.
The English language is very important, and Amideast provides them with this skill of being well prepared for their future.
Even in countries where the relationship officially between the governments is not very good, there's a great demand for English because it is the international language of commerce, it's the international language of science, and it opens doors.
I hope to see myself as a successful businesswoman, and I think the program will have had a lot to add to this success.
It's very much like a stone dropping in to a pool of water. The ripples do indeed extend far beyond the individual. The excitement of the experience is something that's immediately apparent when the participants in these exchange programs return home.
They come back empowered, saying one person really can make a difference.
The year was 1951. World War II had ended, and U.S. economic and strategic interests in the Middle East and North Africa were considerable. Misconceptions about the Arab world led a group of prominent American educators, theologians, and writers, headed by renowned columnist Dorothy Thompson, to form Amideast. The new organization, headquartered first in New York and then in Washington, D.C., gave high priority to providing accurate information on the Middle East to Americans and on the United States to the peoples of the Middle East. Producing publications about the Middle East, including a documentary about Egypt, the Land of Time, narrated by famed American journalist Lowell Thomas, shown to millions of Americans. Encouraging people-to-people communication by bringing prominent citizens from the region to address American audiences, and helping American visitors meet the region's leaders. Assisting promising young people in the region to access higher education in the United States.
My title is Dr. Magda Saleh, professor at the Academy of the Arts of Egypt, and in an earlier career, the prima ballerina of the Cairo Ballet Company. The opera house burned down in 1971. A lot of dreams went up in smoke. I got this telegram. You have a scholarship to the United States. Would you like to accept? Amideast changed the course of my life by finding me the means to come and study in the United States. And it was a life-transforming experience for which I will be eternally grateful, because it broadened and deepened my horizons immeasurably.
These kinds of activities laid the foundation for what are now recognized as Amideast hallmarks: student exchange and educational advising and testing. By the end of its first decade, Amideast had established representation in 9 Middle Eastern and North African countries. The 1967 Arab-Israeli War curtailed many of Amideast's field operations. The Cairo office was among those that remained open.
There was a time in the U.S.-Egyptian history from 67 to 73 when there was very, very tenuous relations. You really didn't have full diplomatic relations. There were no ambassadors. Amideast, however, was welcome in Egypt and welcome to stay there because we understand the culture.
One of Amideast's biggest accomplishments is simply remaining here, serving the Egyptian public through not one war, but 3.
In the 80s and 90s, Amideast's growth continued. Field offices began to offer English language and professional skills training. Educational advising and testing services expanded to meet growing interest in American-style education.
When there were problems in Gaza not too long ago, the only American presence anybody could find in Gaza was the Amideast office. So we're there, and that's the thing that makes us unique. The education and the training, yes, but it's also the fact that we're there.
Societies need effective institutions in order to meet the needs of their citizens. Amideast also began to work with governments, NGOs, and companies to build their institutional capacities.
Some of the programs we offer provide grants to the NGOs to help them conduct programs on the ground in the country. We've encouraged public-private partnerships between the NGOs and different public agencies in Lebanon, helping all to improve their own capacity to address the country's development needs.
The Administration Justice Support Project is one of the key institutional strengthening activities that we have. The project exists to work with the Egyptian Ministry of Justice to examine their civil courts and how they operate. And what we're trying to do is make the courts function more efficiently and effectively to serve the public by providing services and programs that address government, non-government, and companies' developmental challenges. We're better positioning individuals and institutions to serve the public and also to experience growth economically.
In the late 80s, Amideast released Introduction to the Arab World, a videotape and teaching guidebook, which launched Amideast's renaissance as a producer of materials to educate Americans about the Middle East. A decade later, the award-winning video Young Voices from the Arab World was just one of many resources made available to Americans to help expand understanding about the Arab world.
Throughout our history, since 1951 until today, our mission has remained consistent. We have sought to bring people together, to reach out to Americans as well as to the people in the Middle East and North Africa.
In the 21st century, Amideast is operating field and project offices that span the Middle East and North Africa, helping more than 200,000 individuals each year access information about U.S. study opportunities, providing teaching and training to nearly 100,000 individuals throughout the Middle East and North Africa, administering scholarship and exchange programs that promote cross-cultural understanding as well as build knowledge and skills, and supporting governments, NGOs, and companies seeking to build capacity and meet development challenges.
If you can find a talented youth who has something to give to his community, it's a tragedy, a real tragedy if that young person cannot get the education commensurate with his or her potential. We have started, in memory of our late and very distinguished Senior Vice President, Diana Kamal, a scholarship search fund. Amideast has such wonderful contacts with universities around this country. And if Amideast can bring to their attention a very talented but poor Egyptian, or Palestinian, or Lebanese, or North African, and we can show them that this person has what it takes to succeed at their university, they will give a full scholarship.
I'm the manager for Chevron here in Kuwait. The summer camp program is an idea that's really a perfect idea for the times. In my opinion, it helps to expose children from countries like Kuwait to our country, the United States. It has only win-wins for everybody involved.
We're there to support the communities and the programs that help understanding between the people of the United States and the people of the Middle East. And I think anybody watching would agree that never has that mission been more vital than today. Amideast opens doors that were otherwise would be closed to a lot of people. It opens minds.
Because of the Mideast, I went a full year to the United States and experienced a whole different life.
Amideast's immersion program has been fantastic because I've gained so many resources, I can't even count them.
It's definitely the best training center in Egypt.
This experience is the greatest basis or foundation that I can have to start building my career in the future.
Now I can better understand the people and the culture of American.
It's a program that gives you an experience that's going to help you to deal with every single decision you make in your lifetime. And that's probably going to change your life.
When we come here, we are creating this bridge between the people and the policies. So if we're not here, these bridges would not exist, and the world would be the worst place to live in.
The bridge is there, and whether we can make full use of that bridge is what the real challenge is.